foreign terrorists conduct terrorist operations throughout the country. The conservative administration will declare martial law and abolish all political parties, except for the conservatives. It's happening right now. Just listen to talk radio or read some of the books being released by the conservative mouthpieces. Most glorify the ultra-right movement and denounce the Democrats as treasonous. One author even writes that the Democrats should be taken out and shot. The neoconservatives are telling us exactly what they intend to do to our country and our freedoms. They want to make it so that there is only one legal political party, theirs. The rest, the Democrats, Libertarians, the Greens, any others, will be illegal and treasonous. Well, so much for democracy. Religion as we know it in the United States will also be under attack. The neoconservatives and the religious right want to establish a government-approved religion that all citizens will be forced to belong. All the churches, Catholic, Methodist, Jewish, Muslim, will be declared illegal and treasonous. Religion is the opiate of the masses. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that at this point, it doesn't matter who is in the White House, Democrat or Republican. They're all under control of the secret government. The current president is a perfect example of a puppet leader. He's controlled from behind the scenes. Bush was deliberately picked to be president because he is slow and easily manipulated. He even thinks that he's making all the decisions. But in reality, he's a puppet on strings. Someone else does his thinking for him. If Bush should ever start to try to think for himself, well, that's what happened to Clinton when he tried to break free of his strings. The secret government knows how to take care of uppity political leaders. Everyone has their weaknesses that can be exploited. With Clinton, it was chubby interns. With Bush, it could be alcohol or cocaine, or both. However, Bush was specifically chosen because of his lack of intelligence and initiative. He's the perfect New World Order leader. They say jump, and Bush asked how high. You know, for years we worried that the New World Order was using the UN to infiltrate the world. But now we know that they have been amongst us all along in the big corporations, especially big oil. They have used their rich, elitist families to gain foothold in the government. And now that they have their tentacles in every major government, intelligence, and military position in this country, they have started their push for global dominance. Iraq is just the beginning. If you think the economy is bad now, just wait. Soon, all available money will be going to feed the monster that will become the global military police force. If you thought the Great Depression of the 1930s was bad, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. We are seeing the beginning right now. Are you better off now than you were during the last administration? Where did all the jobs go? Where did our balanced budget go? Where did our sons and daughters go when they died in Iraq? Where did our freedoms go? The secret government manipulates our political system to retain ultimate control of all citizens. Another method to exert control of the population, and developed as early as the 1930s, is mass mind control. The topic of mind control is elaborate and multi-layered. For the casual reader, it can quickly become numbing, overwhelming the senses and creating a desire to exit the topic. But avoiding this subject is the most foolish thing you could possibly do, since your only chance of surviving this hideous and insidious enslavement agenda, which today threatens virtually all of humanity, is to understand how it functions and to take steps to reduce your chances of being influenced. The plan to create a mind-controlled workers' society has been in place for a long time. The current technology grew out of experiments that the Nazis started before World War II and intensified during the time of the Nazi occupation camps, when an unlimited supply of children and adults were available for experimentation. We've heard about the inhumane medical experiments performed on camp prisoners, but no word ever mentioned by the media or the TV documentaries of the mind control experiments. That was not to be divulged to the American public. John G. Masuda, father of the Information Society, stated his concern in 1980 that our liberty is threatened Orwellian style by cybernetic technology, totally unknown to most people. This technology links the brain of people via implanted microchips to satellites controlled by ground-based supercomputers. The first brain implants were surgically inserted in 1974 in the state of Ohio and also in Stockholm, Sweden. Brain electrodes were inserted into the skulls of babies in 1946 without the knowledge of their parents. In the 1950s and 60s, electrical implants were inserted into the brains of animals and humans, especially in the United States. During research into behavior modification and brain and body functioning, mind control methods were used in attempts to change human behavior and attitudes. Influencing brain functions became an important goal of military and intelligence services. 30 years ago, brain implants showed up in x-rays approximately the size of 1 centimeter. Subsequent implants shrunk to the size of a grain of rice. Today they are small enough to be inserted into the neck or back and also intravenously in different parts of the body during surgical operations, with or without the consent of the subject. It is now almost impossible to detect or remove implants. It is technically possible for every newborn to be injected with a microchip, which could then function to identify the person for the rest of his or her life. Such plans were secretly being discussed in the United States without any public airing of the privacy issues involved. In Sweden, Prime Minister Olof Palme gave permission in 1973 to implant prisoners, and data inspectors ex-General Jan Fries revealed that nursing home patients were implanted in the mid-1980s. Implanted human beings can be followed anywhere. Their brain functions can be remotely monitored by supercomputers and even altered due to the changing of frequencies. Guinea pigs in secret experiments have included prisoners, soldiers, mental patients, handicapped children, deaf and blind people, homosexuals, single women, the elderly, school children, and any group of people considered marginal by the elite experimenters. The published experiences of prisoners in Utah State Prison, for example, are shocking to the conscience. Today's microchips operate by means of low-frequency radio waves that can target from a distance. With the help of satellites, the implanted person can be tracked anywhere on the globe. When a microchip is placed in the optical nerve of the eye, it